All right, in the bottom right, in the blue, making a murderous path through the lower bracket. Trying to qualify here to secure himself a spot in the round of 24 in BlizzCon. He is LAMBO. In the upper left, in the red, the dominant force of Latin America DreamHack for years. Precise Storm Gaming. Special. So, in typical special fashion, when he's been waiting for a player for a while, what does he do? He goes for a 2-rack. He says, yes. I don't want you to have a nice, honorable macro game. No. I'm hitting you with some weird stuff. ASAP. And LAMBO is not scouting for this. Not at all. No drones out of the map. Now, he will eventually know that something's up by the time that his Overlord finds its way into the natural. But this Overlord is just going to kind of sit here, which means he will see the SCV rallying. And this SCV coming out of this position at this timing. And the second one particularly is going to say, hey, LAMBO, you're getting 2-rexed. Although he does... Okay, there we go. Now the drones have been pulled here. So he is fully committing. He has left 7 working, 7 mining. He has pulled pretty much the majority of his drones here, which means that he will be able to deny the bunker from going down. But this is a heavy committal. He cannot afford to lose too many workers here, and it's all down to the micro. Who has better? How many workers will go down before things happen? And actually, yeah, LAMBO committing very heavily to this. He's getting a spine. And that is not something you normally do against the 2-racks anymore. It used to be the play. You'd get 2 spines. They would just sit out at the range where the bunker cannot fire, and where the bunker cannot fire, but the spines can. You kill everything. You're fine. But it looks like, yeah, there we go. Special giving up on it this morning. He's gonna get his Reapers. He's gonna get 2 of them, which is something that he likes to do. Actually, he's gonna get 2 of them. And that just gives him a little bit more agency on the map with these Reapers. It means he can kill off a drone or 2. But Special, he's taking his natural on location. Barracks are going home. And actually, interestingly enough, Special is going to keep both of his barracks alive here. He's not going to bring one home and scout with the rest, which does leave room for like a 2-1-1-esque idea later on. So Reaper will fly in, and of course, it only takes three volleys, but nice, really preemptive morph there. For LAMBO, it's very easy to go and get caught out by the damage. Yeah, and especially with the KD charge. So he made that early. Still losing 2 workers, not ideal, especially having pulled SCVs early and losing 2 workers there. But still, 4 workers. That's really it's not on the low end anymore. It's maybe on the medium low end, but we've seen far worse setups on games that Zergs have won against the proxy 2-racks. So LAMBO, he's going to be pretty happy with this. Well, maybe not happy, but he's going to be okay with how this game is going. We're just going to have to see where we go from here. Oh, wow. Nina knocks out Beyond. That's awesome. Wait, so that means Nina moves on to face... Who does Nina play? No, I want the qualifiers. All right, so that means that Nina moves on to play a laser for a day with Showtime. Wouldn't that be a Nina Showtime PvP? I really don't know what state Nina's in right now. She's been streaming a lot. She's been practicing a lot more than she has in a while. And she's been pretty vocal about how just like happier she is in general, both in terms of StarCraft and in terms of life, which is only going to improve her play. So I don't know. I don't know if she's back at kind of the heights of her level up. Hey, Thorn, how does the wildcard slot work? I can't say I am familiar. What is it? Whichever, whichever region has the most qualifiers to Katowice gets an extra slot. I don't know. But anyway, we got a drop coming out here. It's only, what, 11 Marines. Not a ton. But it is enough to cause some consternation because, you know, Stim is done. Combat Shield is a little balls off. +1 as well. But maybe Special finds some value, especially actually with the Hellions and the Reapers here. This is going to be a little bit more complicated. There are, of course, 4 queens here looking to zone things out, but you need more than that. So Banelings are going to look to roll in. And, oh, that's so cool. The body block with a Spore just to prevent the Hellions from going on in, just letting their AI mess up just a little bit. 1 queen will go down, but honestly, that's acceptable trades here. Notice, of course, the Lings, the Banes, they're sitting behind the queens. They are very afraid of the Hellion play. But more and more queens are running on in. Second queen has died. Especially starting to find a little bit more value with this. That is value that LAMBO can absolutely accept. He's on 63 workers. He has 4 bases. His creep spread is okay. It's not great, but it is okay, especially in the position where it looks like he is going to expand to take that 4th base. So he's already getting creep up on the high ground, which is really the most important thing. His double Evo chamber is down. His bailing speed is on the way. And it looks like LAMBO in this game number 1, off of the 2 racks play, is just going to play a Ling Bane style. Is going to get into Quick Hive, whatever it is, but is just playing kind of mass Ling Bane here, looking to just find the value wherever he can. There we go. We will see a Hellion go down, but not at no expense. A couple Zerglings will die in exchange. +1's on the way. We should see +1 Carapace come down as well, but LAMBO's not going to be able to do that just yet because he needs the gas. He needs to build a lot of Banelings here. Because this is a terrifying question. The tanks are going to siege up here on the line of sight blocker. It's going to be difficult for LAMBO to get on top of it unless he gets on top of it right here, right now. So the tank's doing a great job of target firing down the Banelings, but at the last second, a lot of these Marines will take a shot. And the push from Special, a whole lot less scary than it was. Still, queens do go down, but at this point, there is enough army here from LAMBO that he will be able to clean this up. And the medevac that had all the Marines in it is the one that will suffer the fall. So now 4th base underway. Now, okay, here's the thing. LAMBO, he has the money for it. He has not started Carapace yet. It appears that he has forgotten about that in all the chaos, but there we go. +1 is getting started now. He's in a great spot. Again, now he can get creep on the high ground outside of his 3rd base, which means that push from Special that was so scary, even if LAMBO did figure it out, was able to clean it up. That push that was so scary, it will get cleaned on up. Here's, okay, Liberator. It's finding a little bit of damage. It's being annoying. You know, three drones will be the price. But actually, does that shoot the queen? No, it does not. So there we go. Dead Liberator indeed. The army on the right side is going to try to find something because, of course, the creep spread is good, but it has not really progressed that much far past the base at this point. And actually, Baneling, nice target fire there from Special, is going to find its way on in. And this is starting to cause some problems, but that's just because LAMBO is a massive run by onto the other side of the map here. 8 drones go down and 3 queens. The cost of 8 SCVs and a natural that's not allowed to mine, at least for a little bit longer. 10 SCVs actually will pay the price. I don't think that's the best trade for LAMBO there. Ah, got you there. Okay, that makes sense, Thorn. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so now we have LAMBO doing a much better job of, he has been able to do a much better job of establishing his creep around his 4th base. Now, the one thing we gotta worry about, Curious Minds less so than like a Berlin, than like a Beckett or something, but there are somewhat limited number of bases. LAMBO, like maybe 1 more base he can take. It's not something we gotta worry about for like or that LAMBO has to worry about for like the next, I don't know, 10 minutes. But eventually, you know, if this game goes super late, it's a lot easier for Special to split the map here than it would be on, say, a Glorious Mines or something, where there's seemingly always another base you can take without having to contest a base from your opponent. Anyway, LAMBO is going to take the bottom base here. Special, though, he's going to go for a big drop into the main, and you know, one of the theoretical upsides of this build that LAMBO has gone for is it means you can get into your hive tech somewhat quickly. But he's not going to be doing that too much of that this game. Hey, Ethernodal. Thank you so much. Welcome. Glad you're here. Ethernodal. Okay, now special. He does have this one. By the way, he's forgotten +1 carapace or +1 armor in its entirety. So while Lambo was down an upgrade for a while, they're going to be equal in upgrades at 2-1 apiece, and then eventually Lambo will have 2-2 tanks. They're going to siege on up here. The Banelings are not quite where they want to be just yet, actually making a big connection to these tanks. The army of Lambo is going through a meat grinder. Yeah, the tanks go down, but the army of Special is still strong. There are not a lot of Banelings left on the field. So many of them crashing into those tanks. And this is maybe Special's timing here. He's up 10 army supply. He's going to be able to get on top of the Queens, just maybe. But his army is somewhat overstimmed. And the Baneling sandwich is going to cause some problems here, and that's not going to work at all here. Medevacs get target fire down, and from a position where it felt like Special maybe had what he needed, Lambo now chases him down. And now we're in that scary position where it's really hard for the Terran player to find where they can drop their army off. So even if the army supply is somewhat equivalent, a lot of that army supply is in the air. A lot of that army supply is just that cannot fight right now because the Zerg army is just going to sit beneath it. And Lambo says, I don't care about that. That's fine. I'm just going to annihilate your economy. I'm going to make it so you can't mine anymore because that sounds like fun, right? That's great. This one tank on the high ground is just doing so much work here. But now, okay, Zerglings will not get on top of that. And this drop is doing something. It is removing a little bit of creep. It is knocking down the reinforcements of Lambo just a little bit. And Lambo's army supply is not, insane. But he does have his lair done. He has his hive done. He has adrenal glands on the way. Ultras as well. He doesn't have to kill. He just has to not die. And in fact, it looks like he's going to do more than that here. As again, he's going to take a good fight off creep. Ultra Cavern about halfway done. We don't have 3-3 on the way yet because honestly, Lambo does not have the money for it. He's only on 72 drones, and he has been spending his money pretty much as he gets it. But the tech of the Terran army is really starting to fall apart. We have 3 tanks on the map, but none with the push. It really is, I guess there are tanks with the push now. I was going to say it really is a pure Marine army. But there we go. Lambo doesn't have a lot of minerals, but he certainly had a little bit more gas. So with that gas, he's going to spend 300 of it. He's going to get a Viper. He's going to make sure that these tanks are pretty much, outdated, antiquated tech for Special in the future. But for right now, the tanks are still scary, and the push is still somewhat scary, but not scary enough. GG Lambo, he takes game 1. So let's see, Special is doing a much more standard thing. It looks like it's probably going to be Hellion Banshee because honestly, 1-1-1 more often than not does tend to be Hellion Banshee. So there are a couple ways you can open up a TVZ. You can go for a 2-1-1, and you can do that one of 2 ways. You can either do the more aggressive 2-1-1 that hits at just about 5 minutes, 4:35 minutes, or that leaves at 4:30, generally gets on the other side of the map at 5 minutes, and that one does not have a third base all that quickly. Or you can go and go for the TY build that gets 2 Hellions, then does a 2-1-1 anyways. But in this game, we're not going to see any of those. It's not going to be Hellion Banshee. It's not going to be anything like that. No. It's Widowmine drops. It is early Widowmine drops from Special in this game, and that is a new idea. That is a new thing to see here. As there we go. The Speed Lord will find his way in. It's gonna say, okay, well, I see something. I don't know exactly what. I mean, it's a 1-1-1 opener, nothing crazy. And I believe this drop has been pretty much unscouted. Of course, there are 10 Zerglings on the map, but that's what I want. There we go. You have pretty much right there. On this drop, we'll be able to skirt creep for a time. So how much is Lambo paying attention? Zerglings are exactly where they need to be. Widowmines, though, are going to find a really good place to burrow. And they're both going to target fire the Queen. Dead Queen, less larva. Honestly, pretty value play there from Special. Taking advantage of what he can. As the Hellions try to dive into the third base, 2 workers go down. So for all that commitment, Special is going to get 2 workers. But the Widowmines, they stay alive. Unlike in a PvT where you see Widowmine drops, and the Widowmines almost always die. At this stage in the game, Widowmines, they don't die all that quickly. So they will be able to escape here. As the Hellions, they're just going to continue to maraud around, and behind this, 2 additional barracks, third base, the standard stuff. Okay, fair enough. Hellions are now going to dive into the third base here. 5 workers go down. Yeah, I guess just from that first rally, of course. It only takes 3 Hellions to one-shot. Oh, you got to be so careful here, Lambo. Line them up. 9 workers go down. 10 workers are going to pay the price at the end of the day. Lambo taking tons and tons of damage. in this game just from 4 Hellions, because no one expects the 4th Hellion. Now, the Liberator, right as the drones move on in, especially just really turning up the taps of the aggression here, is like, well, you know what? If I didn't get enough done early with the 2 racks, then that just kind of felt bad. I wasn't able to put enough pressure on you. What if I do weirder pressure? Maybe that's going to work. Maybe that's going to be my goal here. And he has done what he needed to do. He's killed off 10 workers. He has slowed down the economy of LAMBO significantly. It's almost 6 minutes, so we don't have a 4th base underway. The Baneling Nest is not going to pop until 7, which means Baneling Speed is not going to pop until about 8. Do we have a layer? We do have a layer at the very least. But this setup from LAMBO has been slowed. Now, in fairness to the situation that LAMBO's in, 1-1 for special is delayed as well. His 3rd base is only just now dropping down. Stim is done, but combat shields are going to be much later. So, yeah, the setup is a little bit slower for both sides, but it does feel like special has absolutely gotten what he needed to do here. That being said, it is still very difficult to push into Glittering Ashes. These ramps, while they're not the smallest, they're not big either. And it does cause some consternation here for pretty much every race, trying to kill off their opponent. As we will see a Overlord go down, and we should see a scan dropped here, so Creep going back down as well. But really what Special's doing here is he's buying idea. He's buying visual space, buying attention to try to find the Liberator into the natural to find some damage there. He gets the force base, that's great, but yeah, he's just going to be forced to pick up here. Realistically, he's not finding value right now, but the Liberator is going to get 3 workers. Or 4 workers, excuse me, and it's going to be able to get back, taking no damage to itself. So yeah, that's really all that Special was looking for. I mean, ideally he gets more. Really, he's going to be happy with that one. Is 1-1 about halfway done. Not that much further away. Not that one. That much further advanced over what the Zerg has. Is oh, this Liberator is starting to get some tremendous damage. 6 workers go down. This drop is going to get a Baneling first trouble. That's nice. But again, it's just death by 1,000 cuts for Special right now. He's just finding value wherever he can. As looks like Dilemma's going to get his 5th base going to 1, 2. The Queen will not go down. And Liberator will be forced back here. Won't die. Yeah, it's not going to die. But now we got pushes on both sides here because it's kind of a weak position that LAMBO has on the right side. He's really been forced over to the left for the most part. This Liberator again finding so much. This Liberator has 12 drone kills on top of everything else. The Zerglings, they're going to look to surround surround the army here. Widowmine shots are going to go off. Now Special on the left side. That's a dead Queen. Special, suddenly he's up 50 supply or 40 supply here. And yeah, that's just it. GG. Special swarming. He did too much damage. LAMBO could not recover. And folks, we're going to game 3. So no 2 racks in this game 3. It didn't work for Special in game 1, and in the game he didn't do it. The game he just did other interesting oddball things was the game that he won. I'm kind of surprised that we don't see the double barracks on the low ground for kind of pseudo proxy Reaper play, which is something that he kind of likes to do on this map, and it's something that he likes in general. But no, we're not going to see that here in this series. Maybe later, maybe against DRG, I don't know, but not here, not now. Just going to play, for the moment, what we can see is, right now, is a standard opener. I mean, what he does with the structure later on, we're going to have to find out. LAMBO first part, I mean, you're not going to see a lot of deviation from your standard Zerg build order. Now, there are some inflection points. You know, do you get... this is not going to be 19 drone roach, because we're kind of already past that point. But do you go roaches at like 33 supply? That's kind of really the only major inflection point. I mean, it used to be, oh, do you go 2-base muta or not? But 2-base muta is pretty heavily out of the meta right now. And I guess there's always the, oh, you know, you can go pull first and delay a command center, but it's not what LAMBO did. So from this point onwards, it's just all about getting in mid-game. What do you want to do with your money? How quickly do you take your 4th base? Do you go Ling Bane? Do you go... Mutiling Bane, not all that common. Do you go Ling Bane into Hydraling Bane? Very common. Do you do something with roaches? Probably not. Unless you're dark, I guess. Or unless you're going for like a roach max, which is different. But Roachling Bane is a thing of the past. Yeah, or do you go like 1-1 roaches into quick lurkers? I mean, those are kind of that's the gamut of the Zerg option right now. Just look how defensive LAMBO has chosen to be with the with his spore. Wow, not spore. You can tell it's been a long day with the creep tumor here. You know, because of course getting it down, getting that creep spread out in some way, shape, or form is better than not getting it out at all. Even if, of course, it's not going to be spread, you know, the optimal position. It's fine. Oh yeah. Pride of Taurus. Okay. Gotcha, Thorn. I was confused, but yeah, again, LAMBO doing a great job here of zoning out the Reaper, making sure that his creep spread is able to go as it needs to be. There we go. 111, third command center on the way for special. So the same build we saw in game 2. We're going to have to see what he opts to go for, because right now it's only 2 Hellions. He got 4 in that last game before he went into the Widowmine play. But no, it's going to be a Liberator out of here. So instead of Widowmine drops that honestly didn't get... I got a Queen, which was nice. Ideally, you're getting 8 workers. But, you know, getting that Queen is going to be nice. But Special says, you know what? I don't want to do the same thing 2 games in a row. That seems dull. And also, it means the LAMBO's going to be expecting more. He's going to take even less damage. So, Liberator is going to be the play. We're going to see probably Liberator siege up on the natural outside of this dead airspace. As Hellions dive into the third, again, just Special looking to force LAMBO to do 2 things at once, which is always going to be intensely difficult. Okay, so Hellions are going to dive on in now. And 2 workers go down. I mean, it's not a lot. But also, you got to remember here, Special building more drone or more Hellions than he did in that previous game. So he will have more kind of one-tap ability. That's actually not even true. You only need 3 Hellions to one-shot, so anything other than that is overkill. But maybe if you direct the shots better, you'll be able to get, you know, 2 lines at once or something. Of course, it's tricky micro. But the Liberator is now going to show up inside of the natural. And this is going to be the trigger here for Special to run on in with all of these Hellions. I think he has 8 or... How many Hellions does he have? 8 Hellions here, looking for some avenue of damage, and he will not be successful. In fact, the Liberator not getting too much either. So for now, Special's being stymied, but folks, take notice. Double gas before 5 minutes. Take notice. Additional factories. We're going Mac in game number 3 on 2000 Atmospheres. This is a special. Sit back, buckle up, because when was the last time you saw Mech VZ if you're not watching Special? I don't believe this is something that LAMBO has scouted yet either. So the massive amount of Hellions, we are on 12 Hellions right now, are probably going to catch the Zerg player off guard. And what does he have defensively? He's got some Lings. He's got 23 Lings. But honestly, we're kind of at the point right now where the Hellions, they don't care. They can just dive on top of the Lings regardless. They can just take the fight. The Lings are just evaporated in an instant. Yeah, Banelings are morphing, and that's annoying, but we're going to see so many workers go down here. Special's caught LAMBO off guard. 22 workers have died. The Hellions, 3, of course, 3 Hellions, they get sectioned off. They're going to keep doing damage. 4 more Hellions dive into the third. This LAMBO's economy is just dead. Yeah, he's going to kill off some of these Hellions at the end, but still, these 3 Hellions, they're doing something. Killing off pretty much every drone in the natural. Doesn't matter. If you build them, they'll still kill them, at least for a moment, of course, until they're all dead. But 35 workers are dead. LAMBO now, he's at half the income of his opponent. And when you look at mech play, whatever version of mech it is all about, you know, doing damage to the Zerg player early. It's all about making it so that they cannot grow to the point where you cannot contest. Or they cannot grow to the point where they're going to start to just absolutely snowball and, you know, they just start doing damage to you. Half the economy, yeah. Special's going to be very happy with that one. Mech tends to be a very difficult composition to change the game state in against. You know, if Mech is behind, it's kind of very hard for the Mech player to come back into a game outside of by turtling and by the Zerg failing to break them. On the flip side, Mech player that's ahead, it's often very difficult to come back. It's very hard to break that army because it really is so binary. You know, do you have enough tanks? Things blow up. Do you not have enough tanks? Things don't blow up. And also because of kind of how overkill works. But for now, this is not traditional, you know, Thor tank or Hellbat tank, whatever you want to call it. This is battled mech for now. This is a much more mobile composition that was brought to us, you know, courtesy of Cyclones, courtesy of Legacy of the Void. Now, we don't have Mag Field Accelerator done yet, but Blue Flame is going to be done in about 3 seconds, and that's kind of the scary thing. Now, of course, Banelings are not flight units, so they don't. Blue Flame doesn't do all that much for you there. But it does mean Special can be intensely active on the map. Zerglings are not scary, just outside of, you know, being a something for us around, as we are just seeing so many overlords going down here. Another queen will die as well. Special, he's just finding value. Now we're going to see tanks starting to hit the field. 1-1, just about. There's going to be a terrifying 1-1 timing coming in from Special in this game number 3. Generally, it's 2-2. You know, the 2-2 max out timing, but Special, he's going to be able to hit a 1-1. Was that Failing will not get anything done here. He's going to be able to hit a 1-1, like 150-odd supply timing. That is going to be so hard for LAMBO to break. I mean, he's playing Roachling Bane against Mac, which, you know, there's some viability to that. But you got to remember, that's some viability when you are, you know, up on supply, when you're able to trade inefficiently and be okay with it. Not in this game where LAMBO, yeah, he's got 85 workers now, but I mean, his economy, for a solid 3 minutes, he was down, you know, 1,000 minerals a minute, 1,000 resources a minute. Thor969 saying, LAMBO versus DRG could be important to determining who makes the IEM round at 24. Yeah, you're true. You're right. What if it's not LAMBO versus DRG? What if it's Special versus DRG? How about that one? How about them apples? So really, we just have Special being suffocating on the map at this point. He's got his army on the left. He's got his army on the right. Battle Mech is not an army you want to have a ton of. I mean, you want to have enough to fight, to be sure, but they're kind of diminishing returns with how effective, you know, 50 supply versus 60 supply is Battle Mech versus, you know, 20 versus 30. So it's much better to have them spread out like this. Oh, Hellions are going to dive in. The Queen is going down here. Liberator just finding so much more value, making these roaches die. And there's no defense yet, so, I mean, the Hellions will go down. That's fine. And it looks like this force should be able to kill off the Liberator, but it's just all about keeping Special down, or all about keeping LAMBO down, all about making him build drones and not, you know, an army. So the tanks are going to run across the map here at this point. There is no tech for LAMBO. There is no hive. There are no Vipers, nothing like that. It's just Roach, Ravager, Queenling Bane, and LAMBO's down 20 supply. He has 80 workers, sure, but I don't think those 80 workers are not going to do all that much for him. As missile turret's not going to do too much, but now the tank's staging on up here. It is so difficult. There we go. That's about as far as we can go. It's so difficult for LAMBO to take this fight. He's going to have to hit a full 360 surround, and that's what he's going to do. The fourth base does go down here, but now LAMBO is looking for the push. He's not going to get it. The tanks are just blowing everything up. The rally providing the vision for the tanks to explode just about everything. GG, good luck, LAMBO says. He qualifies not through Korea, not through Europe, and not through North America. Special defense is home turf. And he moves on to match with DRG to determine who qualifies out.